Hey everybody, and welcome into a new episode of Inside Pitch here at the Post-Dispatch. I'm Ben Frederickson alongside Jeff Gordon, here to talk some Cardinals baseball. Fred Bird, he's flown the coop, Gordo. He's in Cancun. He's working on his offseason. The Cardinals are limping toward the end of a lost season, and they're getting ready to play both the Royals and the A's. So a lot of bad baseball up ahead. They're not going to learn anything from the Royals and the A's, but we thought we'd take today and say, are there some few teams out there that the Cardinals should channel or perhaps model this offseason? We've spent so many years, Gordo, talking about teams that are chasing the Cardinals, and they've lost some of that edge, and they got to perhaps learn from some other teams this offseason in terms of what they need to do to fix this team. Where would you start if you could point to one team and say the Cardinals could take a page from that playbook?
Well, they're in Tampa Bay. They're playing the Rays and the Fighting Rosarenas. And Cardinal fans have had plenty of reasons to lament that trade. Randy's a guy that they caught, Tampa Bay did, the Rays, just as he's ready to break out, which they have done over and over again. Their motto is to catch somebody on their way up, try to get them and see what they have coming forward instead of what they've done. Time after time after time, that franchise with a very small budget has managed to find the right guys in these complicated trades, some of these waiver wire pickups, signing guys in midseason, whatever. Their pro scouts keep finding guys with upside, and they just stay in the hunt that way. It's not the way the Cardinals operate, but you could learn from their pro scouts.
Man, it would be great if the Cardinals could trade for a young starting pitcher who is about to have his breakout. It would be costly, but they've got to do something to help this rotation, and they need multiple arms. It's probably unrealistic to expect them to sign them all as free agents. The Rays can make the most out of a dollar, probably about any team in baseball. What about a team that threw dollars at their season? We've heard so much this season about teams that spent big and how poorly it went, and there are a lot of examples of that, none bigger than the Mets, who the Cardinals will play soon too. But how about another team that's actually making that approach work? The Rangers. They went out and signed, they got Jacob deGrom, and he fell apart, which is what usually happens to Jacob deGrom, but they're fine because they also went out and got a guy like Nathan Eovaldi, who's having a great year, and then at the trade deadline, they double down. They get Scherzer, they get Jordan Montgomery, and the point is they saw their weakness. They got a manager that they believe in, so they're going to flood him with options, and if it costs a lot, well, they're going to pay it and hope that it pays off in a World Series. So the Cardinals don't just throw money at their problems, but I do think that they have to increase their spending on the right targets this year. It's not about just spending the money to spend, but they have a clear need, and it's the priciest need in baseball. It's proven starting pitching. So an aggression like the Rangers showed this past offseason in acquiring rotation help, that would be something the Cardinals could and should learn from this offseason.
Yeah, the way Texas looked at it was, hey, if not now, when? They've made a lot of investments. They were positioned to make a move. They said they saw an opening. They had the Hall of Fame manager. They got Mike Maddox back as pitching coach. Let's go for it. And will the Cardinals, when the next time the Cardinals feel they're set up, will they make that same decision and say, you know what, just let's empty the well. Let's go for it. Let's go. Let's throw the money in. Let's go for it right now because this is our opening. They may have had chances to do that before, and they didn't because there's a restrictor plate, I think, on their thinking.
Yeah, the governor can be adjusted a little bit. The Cardinals chairman Bill DeWitt Jr. has said he'd rather pay players than trade away prized prospects. I think this offseason will test that thinking, and you may have to do a little bit of both if you're serious about having a pitching staff that can contend in 2024. Is there a team out there that the Cardinals absolutely shouldn't learn from, Gordo? Oh wait, every team they're about to play for the next 2 weeks.
It's frustrating. Maybe I look at the Pirates because they're becoming the Buffalo Sabres of the Major League Baseball. They keep trying to rebuild, and they just don't seem to keep the right guys. And again, they faded this year. If you're going to turn around quickly. And I think that is their goal. But we'll see if they can pull it off.
I'd say the Reds. The Reds were the hottest team in baseball for a minute. And why did it fall apart? Well, the same thing we pointed to when they were surging. They didn't have the pitching. And now they had a bunch of injuries, but they didn't do enough to back it. And unfortunately, the momentum went out of that team for Cincinnati. It all comes back to the pitching. It's where the Cardinals have to be focused this offseason. And if they're not serious about improving it, they could be back in this spot next season. Hey, keep it locked at STL3.com for all of your Cardinals coverage. For Jeff Gordon, I'm Ben Frederickson. We'll talk to you next week.